Are you sick and tired of the same old conservative news? I know I am. That's why I put out this show, because I want to talk about what I'd like to see. So let's get talking about what's going on today. Welcome to the 50th show of OK Miles. We woke up today to see hashtag Save America referencing the unconstitutional proceedings to impeach a private citizen, former President Donald Trump. This social media movement is being forwarded by none other than the Lincoln Project, a group that claims to be run by Republicans, but in reality, it's just a bunch of salty individuals who were upset that Trump railroaded their establishment party. Let's just take a quick look at who their founders really are. George Conway, an attorney who was overlooked by President Trump for a position in the civil division at the Department of Justice, who following Jeff Sessions leaving as Attorney General wrote an anti-Trump piece in the New York Times. Steve Smith, who is someone who worked under Bush 43, Governor Schwarzenegger, and McCain during his presidential bid, and said that President Trump has blood on his hands for moving the Israeli embassy to its rightful home of Jerusalem.
Rumbling around, and he destabilized with this rash move the Middle East. And as I said, when he announced the move to the embassy, I said there will be blood on his hands, not because he pulled the trigger, but because he destabilized the region with not having any clue about what he was doing. And that goes for Jared Kushner as well. It is an appalling disgrace that these two were allowed to open in prayer under the flag of the United States, an official U.S. government event, given their mountains of bigotry, their anti-Catholicism, anti-Judaism, anti-Islam, anti-Mormonism.
Schmidt is also a registered Democrat now. Looks like they've got the top-notch Republicans. Well, here's a snippet of their awful video being promoted on social media right now.
For a moment, put aside your fear. Think back to who you were on that first day at the Capitol. You felt the sense of history, patriotism, the majesty of a sacred place, the knowledge that you could make history. Now, your legacy is on the line. You know Trump's mob seized the Capitol on his orders, a violent insurrection to hold power. You were saved from assault and death only by providence. You know the blood Trump's mob spilled that day will be on your hands, souls, and legacies if you fail to act. Your defenses of Trump are hollow, cynical, and desperate. We know you're afraid. The vote will be the hardest and most important of your life. Convict Trump. Save America. America is watching.
The Lincoln Project is responsible for the content of this advertising.
What pure propaganda. What is really sad is that it looks like social media is all for covering up anything that's remotely conservative, even if it's a great accomplishment like we saw last night with Tom Brady's 7th Super Bowl ring. That is a once-in-a-lifetime achievement, and I cannot imagine why it is that we don't see anything about it celebrating on social media. Could it be that Tom Brady was a vocal supporter of President Trump? What we do see, however, is Jim Thorpe trending. But it is in the light of belittling Tom Brady's accomplishments by comparison. Social media really has no issue with dismissing conservatives outright, do they? You cannot compare Jim Thorpe to Tom Brady because these men lived in incredibly different times. They are, in their own rights, the greatest of all times, respective to their accomplishments. I guess we are at a point in progressive ideology where you are only celebrated if you are not conservative or a biological male competing in women's sports, destroying any of their hopes and dreams of being the greatest of all time in their field. Well, finally, today we pay respects to Representative Ron Wright, who served the 6th Congressional District of Texas since 2019. Shortly after elected, he was diagnosed with lung cancer, and last month, both his wife and him tested positive for COVID-19. He was also a member of the Freedom Caucus and a stalwart conservative, as evident by his decades of public service in Texas. He is a voice that will certainly be missed, and I'll be interested to see who replaces him in a seat in the House of Representatives. If you enjoyed the show today and would like to see more of this content, please share this video, like and comment, and tell me about what you'd like to hear me talking about. You can also follow me on what remains of social media. You can also financially support what we do through Patreon. All the links are below. I'm Miles Rahimi. This is OK Miles, and I'll be back here tomorrow.